Hi, Matt Perger here again. Today we're going to talk about the difference between single and double espressos. Now, of course, everyone wants to be able to make a single espresso out of a machine so that they don't waste it, if they don't waste the second espresso if a customer just wants one. But this means there's going to be some difficulties in the machine, because if you have a recipe set for a double espresso and then you want to use that same grinder to produce a single espresso, there's going to be a lot less resistance for that water. Firstly, because you have a lot less coffee in the brewing chamber, and a lot less water is going to be going through it. So there's a few ways that we can tweak the settings in this machine to make sure that our single espresso extraction time is as high as it possibly can be. Now, the first tactic I like to use is in the ETC. There we go. So in our ETC menu, we have the choice of increasing or decreasing our extraction time. Now, if we want our single espresso to be at least 18 seconds of extraction time, we need to increase the target for our double espresso time. So what I would normally do is increase the target for our double espresso to 28 seconds. This means that the grind is going to be finer for both our double and our single espresso. So we'll exit ETC for now, and I'll show you the other tactics I like to use. Next up, we can see our tamping pressure. Now, more tamping pressure is going to slow down the coffee a little bit, and in this case, we need every advantage we can get to slow down this single espresso. So I would normally set that to the maximum tamping pressure. Next is pre-infusion. The more pre-infusion you have, the more easily the water is going to flow through that coffee once you turn the pump on. So you can, if you wish, turn off pre-infusion completely. That's going to create more of a resistance in the beginning of the shot for that water to slow it down and give you more contact time. So you can reduce both the pre-infusion and eliminate that relax time down to 0. Now, my final tactic is second tamping. Instead of retracting that shower screen after we've tamped, instead I'm going to push the shower screen into the coffee while it's being brewed. To do that, we use a positive number on the second tamping icon there, and that means that after we've tamped, the machine is going to attempt to keep that tamper as far down onto that coffee as possible. It's really going to push. And all of these things together add up to mean our single espresso recipe is going to be as close as possible in extraction time to our double espresso recipe. It's really difficult if we try to make our single espresso the ETC product, because then our double espresso recipe might end up at 40 or even 50 seconds long. It's much easier to have the ETC calibrated to our double espresso and then have the single espresso dangling beneath as the secondary option. Now, of course, the other way to do this is to have separate hoppers for single and double espresso if you only need to use one coffee. That's obviously the simplest, but most people like to have alternate coffee options, so we need to have this kind of compromise to make sure that that single espresso is as good as possible.